Hello, welcome back to JJ's Bakehouse. I'm Jenny. Today we're going to be making a buttercream, just a simple regular buttercream. So to begin, I have got my butter. I've got here a block. I normally use a 2-to-1 ratio here, so my butter is 250 grams and then I'll be using 500 grams of icing sugar. Always make sure you sieve your icing sugar because that's going to help it and make sure there's no lumps in it. Nobody wants a lump in some nice smooth buttercream. And also, a lot of people don't know why they can't get very pale looking, virtually white buttercream. Now, really importantly, you really need to whip and whip and whip the butter. So I put my butter in there. It is soft, it must be soft. Using hard butter isn't going to work, and don't try and blast it in the microwave because that's going to separate the fats and that's not going to help either. So you need it to be left out overnight. Pop your butter in, and just as a tip, if you don't have one, you'll just have to keep stopping and scraping down. But I have one of these with the beater on, and this is so important in making buttercream. I love this, it makes my life so much easier. I can just set this off and walk away and leave it, and when I come back it's exactly the way I want it to be. So we need to give this between 8 to 10 minutes, and it needs to be mousse-like and extremely light. So I'm going to put this on a medium to high speed and come back to you when I have the consistency that I think you need. Right, mine has been going now for about 8 minutes, and as you can see, see if that stays, it really has gone light. So the rim around the outside there, that's the original butter. I left that there so you could see the difference, but that has gone really mousse-like and exactly the way we want it to be. Now that's going to dissolve that icing sugar lovely. So we'll just pop that back on, and then we're going to add the icing sugar. Don't add all of your icing sugar at once. We want to add this in 3 stages. So first time I'll put in a third of the mixture, and then let it go for about 2 minutes. Then add the second third, and I'll come back to you on the last third. Okay, that's been going now with 2/3 of my mixture. So it's a lot thicker, as you can see, and this is the way I want it to be. So I'm going to add that last amount of icing sugar in now, and then that is going to become really quite thick and stodgy, but that's just the way we want it. So let's add this last bit, let it go for the final couple of minutes, and then we'll add some fluid to it just to smooth it out. Right, that's all of the icing sugar added, and it is extremely thick and stiff. You would not want to use this for anything because it's never going to come through a nozzle. So I like to make mine stiff. You don't need to, you could add a little bit less icing sugar, some people do. I like mine to be like this because I like to add the fluid to it because it makes it a little bit silkier. So at this point now, you can add whatever kind of fluid that you like to it. Some people add boiling water, some people add cream, some people add milk. It really doesn't matter what you put in, just to thin it down. So you'd be looking at adding about 2 tablespoons of whatever you're going to use to this, just to thin it down. But also you want to add your vanilla or your flavouring, whichever flavouring you're going to use. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla to this. And then I'm also going to make this really nice and white. So I've got this Wilton white here. So even though this is really light anyway with our super whipping up, I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of this white as well. And I find this one really works. A lot of them don't work, but this one does. And then for my fluid with this, I normally use a tablespoon of cream, just for that creaminess, and then also a tablespoon of the previously boiled water. But I'm actually going to be making this one into like an ice cream. So I'm going to add, I've got here 75 grams of vanilla ice cream there that has been melted, just to give it that taste of the ice cream. So I'm going to give that a go round and we'll show you what that looks like. Right, so this is my buttercream. It is lovely and silky there. Really happy with the consistency of that. Let me just put it into this bowl so that you can see. And the white has worked really well, even though I have put the ice cream in there, and the ice cream is also a little bit yellow, but it's really taken it out, so I'm pleased with that. So this is what you want it to look like. As you can see, it is really simple. So long as you follow to the few rules of making sure you whip that butter up and sieving that icing sugar, it really is a simple buttercream to make and tastes absolutely lovely. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you soon.